Okay. And we're live over here. Instagram's just trying to catch up. Oh, there it goes. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. I'm here with my beautiful friend, Betsy, and we wanted to talk about conversations that I just said change everything because it can change your body, it can change your life, it can change your perspective, right? And actually, I always love having conversations with you, Betsy, because you and I have had some really cool conversations that have just like opened up doors and like,
For sure.
oh, wow. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And these invitations, like really to have conversations in consciousness, to me are so nurturing and inviting and challenging. You know? And you can't really skate by when you're, in that place. And it's really interesting when I'm around people who aren't choosing that like how superficial things are. It's very, very different.
Yeah. I want to know how you feel. Because I used to be quite a social person. I also didn't have like my kids full time and all the stuff, but I would go and I would love to have conversations. But the more kind of like conscious I got, the harder it was to have those shallow or judgy conversations. So I'd find myself out to dinner and I'm just kind of quiet. Like I'm like, and I would try, like I would throw in a little conscious bomb and see where it lands.
But, exactly.
But I just kind of stopped because I'm like, I actually have no interest in these kind of like lower conversation. I don't lower it. That sounds like a judgment. Just these like very shallow or one-dimensional conversations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Me too. And it's really, really interesting. And it's seeing that I really love going deep and having conversations that have me looking at places in my own life where I've chosen things or I've been ignoring things or like la, 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 like having the blinders on. And then when it's in my face and it's, oh yeah, you've been asking to change that. And then it's here. So what would you like to choose? And I get for a lot of people, if they don't have the tools and they don't know how to navigate those kinds of things. And that's where I feel so fortunate to have learned these tools, to ask the questions, to have the conversations so that it doesn't have to be this horrible thing that you run away from.
Yeah. Do you find that like talking about even having a difficult conversation, like if your defenses start coming up and I have to like, do you find yourself like lowering your barriers? Like having to be like, hey, push my barriers. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like lower the barriers and receive the information that's being given to you. Like, don't fight it. Don't try to, go around it, but actually what is the message that's being said here? And, what can you take from it? Doesn't mean you have to agree with it all or anything, but it's really what, especially if I'm going to, what do you call it? Old patterns and old defenses. Like, wait, am I doing that? Am I avoiding? What am I doing here? So yeah, and looking at all of that, again, I feel so fortunate to have these tools to navigate when things are rocky and uncomfortable, and when they're easy and comfortable, both.
Yeah. Okay, have you had a conversation that has just changed everything for you?
Yes, many.
Yeah. Would you share one?
Oh my gosh. Like it's funny, I was just cleaning out something and came across my, when I became an Access Bars facilitator, and that was 2013. And I was looking at that going, wow, has my life changed since then? And you talk about how many conversations have I had that have been life-changing. I've
Wow.
lost count, like totally lost count. And the ones that a lot of times I have to go back and listen to them
Mm.
later again, because you start to get to this point where you can't even hear it anymore. And it's like when you can't hear it that there's something there for you. And gosh, one of the things that really stands out as you asked me that question is I took a choice for possibilities. At the time, it was still choice of possibilities class with Gary Douglas, and he was so kind.
Mm.
And it was probably one of the first times where I allowed myself to see that, because when my very first big class that I went to, I was so afraid.
Me too. So afraid of the Gary.
Yes. So afraid. And I was like, I'm not going to ask any questions. And I remember people going up to the mic and asking questions. And I'm like, what is going on? I didn't understand any of it. And I was like, and now, to just realize that that was all stuff that I had projected, that wasn't truth. And the kindness that he showed me during a particular conversation about abuse, and that it took a lot to for me to get up to the mic and even ask the question. And I was shaking and like, and the kindness that he showed me, that was one of my life-changing moments where I was like, wow, I don't have to continue living with what I had decided my life needed to be because of abuse that I had in my past. So yeah, I hadn't thought about that in a while, but yeah, that was beautiful. And that was, gosh, I don't even know how many years ago, but quite a while ago.
Wow.
How about for you?
So Gary Douglas, we've talked a little bit about, he has a membership called Conversations in Consciousness, which is the little cute logo down there. And last year, so he's in his second year here, but last year there was this conversation, and I didn't even think that this is what I love about conversations, is that they're not like a linear, like A to B question answer. I started asking him about something completely different. And as always, Gary, like we start to go somewhere else, and he brought up sexual healing. And I've been like very interested in sexual healing. I acknowledge I'm a sexual healer, and as a facilitator, and you know this as well because you're a facilitator, there's like not a ton of information. Like there's some, but I've always been like, I feel like there's more here to explore. And I'm such a seeker. Like I want more information. I want to gift more to my participants. And oh my God, are you frozen or am I frozen?
Yes.
Oh, there, you're back. Okay. Yeah. So we started having you're here. We started having this conversation about being a sexual healer, and it like opened this huge awareness for me that was different. And I'm like, oh, like this is really cool. This is like a really cool, not just like me gaining information, but in the conversation, exploring where do I see this for me? Where have I seen this for others? And opening that up in my life, it did actually change everything. It changed the way I engage with people I might want to have sex with. It changed the way I looked at like past experiences and things that I had chosen and why I had chosen them. And it changed like my own awareness of myself, which was so cool. Nice. Just one conversation. It was probably 5 minutes, maybe 10, but that's like when you're having a really conscious conversation, like that's the possibility. It's like that's the fertile ground for these kinds of like big moments.
Wow, that's a beautiful way to say it. And you're so right. It is the fertile ground for, like your world to explode And it can be a simple 2-minute conversation. It can be one sentence. It can be one question. And what I love about these conversations in consciousness that Gary is leading, you can ask anything in there. Yes. Anything, and nothing is off limits. And I remember there was one of the calls, I had been doing some research in the Access Consciousness reference materials, and I had some questions, and a lot of times it can be things that, are not talked about a lot, and he'll answer all your questions and go wherever. And I love that, that there's nothing off limit. Bless you. And
maybe something's changed for me. All right, so please continue.
That's great. Yeah, just that, it's an intimate setting as well. Gary is just, and his barriers are completely down, right? And he is willing to have you ask whatever, and he will answer you. And it's so beautiful. And, like when you're in the bigger classes and, you're in this big, huge room and hundreds of people, which is also beautiful and amazing. And it's a different energy than this conversations in consciousness that we get together twice a month, and you go wherever and anybody can raise their hand and ask questions. And there's no preset agenda. There's no manual. It's what's up in your world. What would you like to know about? And Gary will go there. He will answer you.
Yeah. Oh, I love how you just shared all that. And I had that energy too of like the intimacy, even if sometimes there are like hundreds of people online, you still have an intimate energy. And maybe that's just something Gary's being, but also like, Betsy, do you feel like that you're part of something? Because there's something about these particular calls where it's like whether you're talking to Gary or not, like we're all having this conversation.
Yes.
And this conversation is opening up like stuff for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there are many times I never say a word. And yet, we're all there, we're all contributing. And so, yes, it is. And it's like looking at the collective of what are we changing? What are we contributing by being there, by asking questions, by being willing to have our barriers down and explore whatever,
Yeah. Can you think of any wild topic that was brought up last year?
Oh,
that you
gosh.
were like, this is a wild topic that we're talking about.
There were a lot.
Yeah.
And my brain just went, what am I?
I remember a few conversations, and sex will come up, but there was like some more wild sex conversations that I really liked. One with a woman, and then one with a male, and they were so completely different. But also some of my favorite conversations are really those reality bending ones when you're like, oh my God, we are in the Matrix. Like you're like really like looking at it not from this solid significance place, but from this like, whoa, expansion. Like probably how I think I felt the first time I actually watched the movie The Matrix. I was like, whoa, like you're just aware of something bigger going on. So I can kind of recall, I can't remember exactly what, I remember who was talking, this female participant that usually asks a question almost every time. And he was just like exploring with her this ability that she had of like different realities. And I was like, whoa, I perceive I have something similar. This is really cool. I like loved exploring that with him. And I'm like, I love these wild conversations just going somewhere else.
Me too. And that's where there's no filter.
Which
there's no limit. And wherever. wherever and whenever and however. And I get that it really busts through a lot of our points of views and our own barriers that we have when we have these conversations.
Yeah. Yes. Can you say more? That was brilliant. Tell me more about how that's shown up for you even.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, even my willingness to ask, because I a lot of times hold myself back and be like, oh, well, and I'll tell myself things like, well, this, it's not going to contribute to anyone else. I already have decided all these things, and the willingness to be like, okay, what if you just throw that out and actually be willing to ask the question? And what if it actually contributes to other people? We can tend to think that we are alone in whatever it is that we think or we feel or we sense, and like nobody else. And what if that's part of the stuff to blow up out of your universe? And the more I do that, the more I realize I have really bought into some stuff that isn't actually true.
Yes. Yes. I love that line. Gary says, I learned that everything I thought was true was either a lie or implanted point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm like, yep. I also, something's popping here is the rolling conversation. Cause like there's every call is its own. What is this about? Jake, this is about a membership called Conversations in Consciousness with Gary Douglas. And we're just kind of talking about our experiences with it. It's kind of like the conversation for me keeps going, and
yes.
it's, how do I say it? It's like my skill for conversation is growing.
Yes.
I'm just a part of it.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I want to go more, but it's like hard to grasp onto that.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you quick, what do you think are ingredients for a good for a conscious conversation? What are the ingredients required?
Having your barriers down.
Yeah.
And actually being present with the other, participants that are there, and being willing to receive from everyone, whether or not you agree with them, doesn't matter, right? But and it's really taught me a lot about being present and not checking out. Yeah. What would you add to that, Cass?
I loved all those. I would add curiosity.
Yes. That's
good.
Because
I think sometimes we go, okay, let's have a conversation, and I have a whole idea of this and where I want to go and what I want you to align and agree with.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, or I'm just telling you stuff, which to me isn't really that's just information sharing, right? But a conversation has like that curiosity and that that almost exploration, which I think Gary is so great at leading the exploration of those types of conversations.
Beautiful.
I feel like I don't know where we're going. I don't think he knows where we're going.
No, that's beautiful. Yeah, the curiosity and the willingness to explore whatever.
Yeah.
And also the willingness to be vulnerable, and whatever shows up, and not to have the barriers up. And if you cry, you cry. If you laugh, you laugh, and really allowing yourself whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. Well, we should probably wrap up this beautiful conversation. I'm so grateful for you. I just adore you. And I am so grateful for the conscious conversations that you and I have had, and that we both are on this thing with Gary, like enjoying that every month.
Yes. And the thing is, people can still join in, and we would love to have you on there and play with us. It's a beautiful, amazing experience.
Yeah. If you want more, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say thanks. Thanks for having the conversation with me. And then what were you going to say?
I was just going to say to anyone listening, like if you want more consciousness in your life, this is a great place to start, is just start having those conscious conversations, because it will open up more consciousness. And Gary is like a really incredible wizard. I always think about like, if you're going to sit down for a dinner with like Gandalf the Grey or Merlin the Wise, or, you know, like some really magical person, that you weren't just like, oh my God, I'm in their presence, they're so cool, but actually having that conscious conversation, like it's here, it's available. And there's actually a link in the description if anyone wants to check it out. And
awesome.
Hopefully we'll see you there. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.